Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1,000,000 worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry on these.
What's good? What's good? What is good? It's your boy Dope Boy Diesel. We back here in the motherfucking Doja room. Y'all know what time it is. Get a little quick sound check. Make sure we good. Make sure we all good. Get in here. Get in here. We getting right. Alright, bet. Soundtrack good. To all my stoners, hippies, hip hop enthusiasts, welcome. I'm your boy Dope Boy Diesel, your humble host of the Doja Room, sole proprietor. And yeah, we got some things to talk about, of course. So we're gonna get into it. Y'all know what time it is. Go ahead, light your blunts. You know I'm about to light mines. Y'all know how we give it up here. This is the Doja Room, okay? Let's get it in, man. Let's get it in. How'd y'all, y'all up on that Kelsey? Y'all up on that Kelsey? Whatever you call it. Y'all up on that Kelsey from the Kendrick Lamar award show? How we doing? How we doing on that? How did y'all make out from the Kendrick Lamar award show? I'm trying to see something. How much paper was we making this weekend? Talk to me. I told y'all we going up. I told you bet on Kendrick. He winning it all. Didn't we say this? I told a couple of people this. No, we ain't got the. It's the Kendrick Lamar award show. Why would he even? We should just rename it. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you niggas. We gotta just rename the Grammys to the Kendrick Lamar. The Kendrick Lamar Award. Why not? You know what? I really y'all niggas might think I'm joking, but they might really do that shit. They might really do that shit. This ain't a joke, man. I'm keeping it a buck.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we keeping it a buck over here. Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. You feel me? He might be the Bill Russell of the Grammys. You feel me? They might as well just name it the Kendrick Lamar Award Show at this point. It is what it is. You feel me? We all knew this nigga was gonna come through, win all the awards. They just hand the shits to him, and shit's already got his name on it. They just print the shits out with his name on it. They just engraved that shit from the get-go. Oh yeah, Kendrick Lamar. So yeah, obviously, you know, change is in order. We might as well just go ahead. Let's just name the Grammys the Kennys, man. You feel me? At this point, we might as well just name the Grammys the Kennys. It is what it is. You feel me? He had his foot on the he had his foot on the neck of the Academy Awards. I mean, the biggest media darling of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would we think anybody else except Kendrick Lamar would win anything in rap? Come on. Kendrick Lamar, TDE, the critically acclaimed, you know, best of the best, bringing hip hop back. You know, even though it is suffering its lowest point in some time. But they're bringing hip hop back. You know, we really gotta respect it. We gotta award them for it. You know what I'm saying? Somehow Dochi is winning awards and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And Glorilla is not. Somehow. You feel me? The niggas who really had the culture on lock. Somehow NBA Youngboy ain't there. Somehow the Carter 6 was dropped. Lil Wayne was nowhere there. You know, it's a shame all of these people couldn't make it into the Kennys. But that's exactly what it is. You feel me? You have to look a certain type of way. You have to, you know, you gotta become in a certain type of way. You can't just be half stepping. I'm sorry. You can't just be half stepping. You can't just be half stepping when it come down to the Kennys. You can't just, you know, be a nigga who just takes the culture. You gotta take the academy culture. You feel me? Like you gotta, you know what I mean? This is different. This is a different type of way we giving it up. When you talking about Kenny's, when you talking about winning a Kenny, nigga, cause fuck the Grammys. Let's just call it what it is, nigga. These the Kennys, man. These the Kennys. But when you talk about winning a Kenny, man, you gotta come correct. You feel me? You can't be on all of that street shit, rapping real shit. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear stories. We want to hear the shit that your homeboys live. We don't want to hear what you lived. We don't want to hear none of that real nigga shit, that gun, that beat 'em up, bang bang, violence. We don't want to hear that. Well, we want to hear that at the Grammys. No, we want to hear niggas who, you know, have issues with their voice and their tonality, and you know, 1 minute they're talking like this, and then the next they're talking like this. You know, it's real strange. Some people like that in their music. I personally find it a bit nerve wracking, a little bit annoying, and uncalled for. But everybody has their own taste, you know. Everybody has their own taste. We're not even worried about when, because when it comes down to the Kennys, when it comes down to the Kennys and winning a Kenny award, we don't give a fuck about your taste, okay? We don't give a fuck about your taste. The only litmus test you need to know if you're gonna win a Kenny is, would Kendrick Lamar listen to you? Are you somebody who could be on TDE, who could be in PG Lang? Okay? Do you fit the bill? If not, just give up on winning a Kenny. Okay? You're not gonna do it. It's not happening. If you think that you're a person that, you know, Kendrick Lamar fans wouldn't lick the dirt that you walk on, then you've automatically failed. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry. If you're not a lyrical miracle ass nigga, you know, rhyme super prolific, you know what I'm saying? Then you just give up on give up on getting the Kenny. All right? Just give up on getting the Kenny. It's not for you. You know, it's not for you. This is for people who are of a certain class, okay? A certain stature. And you peasants couldn't possibly think that you were in the same category as King Kunta. There's no way you niggas thought you were in our good Lord Kendrick's same category. That you thought you could breathe the same air as our Lord Kendrick, our Lord and Savior. What's wrong with you guys? You got to play the game. You know, you got to play the game, or you're just gonna have to suffer the losses, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Grammys, we just got to call it for like it is. This is for hip hop elite. For hip hop elites, hip hop royalty. You know, this is for niggas who create true magnifique art. Okay? You feel me? Y'all not getting me. Y'all not getting me. Y'all not getting it. Y'all not getting it. This is not for anybody, okay? This is for the top of the tippity top. Sometimes I get disgusted that you peasants would even touch a microphone, because it's just like, why would you think that you are on the same level as our Lord and Savior Kendrick Lamar? Why would you think that? Why would you think that? Why would you think that you could possibly join the ancestors and make music that breaks the fourth wall and veil like our Lord Kendrick Lamar? You know he sees the dead, right? Did y'all see Sinners? You feel me? They not getting me. They not getting me, man. They not getting me. That was just an origin story, man. That was just the origin story, man. You feel me? That was like Passion of the Christ for Kendrick Lamar. You feel me? Y'all not getting it. Y'all don't see how this shit don't go hand in hand. Like, you feel me? This nigga done really premeditated all of this shit. I heard he was on set. You feel me? But I digress. It's just like, Y'all just gotta get it through y'all heads. You will never win a Kenny. You will never win a Kenny Award because you are not of the Kendrick Lamar ilk. You are not hip hop royalty, nobility. You are all peasants. You think just because you niggas had #1 albums, you think that just because you niggas had tours actually filled with the culture, tours that actually filled seats with young black men and young black women, you peasants think that just because you had this type of year that you were on the same elite level as a Kendrick Lamar? Kiss the ring. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you niggas? How dare you? How dare you vile creatures pick up a microphone, the same microphone that our Lord and Savior Kendrick Lamar would pick up? Are you good? What gives you niggas the balls, the gravitas to think that you could sit in the same realm as a demigod, a hip hop demigod? Okay, this is what we're talking about right now. He came down from the heavens. I watched it. I seen it. We all seen it 2 years ago. He died, came back again. It was like we never understood. You know, we hadn't seen him in so long. He just came back dissing. Stooped down to these peasants' level. He lied down in the dirt. He rapped with the best of them. He conquered them all. And when he conquered them all, he vanished once again. Only to show up at the great games of the Super Bowls. Oh yes, the great games were grand. the great games were grand. And he really showed you peasants why you will never be on his level. You think you're gonna see a NBA young boy performing at the Super Bowl? Huh? You think you're gonna see something like that? Future Vandross? Well, what did you guys think this is? You know? What do you guys think this is? These are God kings, king amongst men. You'll never be in the same category. No matter how much our Lord graces you with his presence, you'll never be in the same category as Kendrick Lamar, okay? Welcome to the Doja Room. I appreciate you guys for stepping in. I appreciate you guys. The Kennys was an amazing show. And I'm glad. I'm truly glad that we're all up. We're all up significantly on our couchies. Okay? We knew our Lord and Savior would do it. We knew he was going to bring it home. There was no denying it. You know? Who would deny it at this point? You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for joining us in, you know, this prayer, this uplifting of Kendrick Lamar. It is what it is. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just getting in tune with the Doja Room, I ask you guys to go ahead. Hold on 1 second. Let's get it up on the screen. But please go ahead and hop in to our community, the Doja Room community. Where you can keep up with all news in the Doja Room. And of course, we are attacking y'all with the live streams right now and dropping a few videos. If you aren't in tuned with our YouTube channel yet, that's Firstborn Media. Go ahead and get in tune with that. Tap in. So you can see our YouTube videos, some shorts. If you don't want to watch the whole show, or if you can't watch the whole show, or you might miss the show, you can see some of the highlights that we're posting up on the YouTube channel. And of course, you can follow me here on X to see any of the the highlights from the show here and the show itself. Okay. And a lot of times, if the show is getting clapped or blocked on YouTube, you can always find everything uncut, unfiltered right here on X, our home base. Okay. So appreciate you guys for stopping in to the Doja Room one more time today. It's amazing. It's amazing, y'all. We're gonna get right into it. I thank y'all for tuning in to this opening monologue. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can just fire off the dome. You got to just let niggas know. The Kenny show was an amazing thing, but Kendrick fans, they continue to be delusional, and it's a shame. But I really want to come here today and talk a little bit about consistency, because you know, consistency, as you see, it's been the theme. I think that's just going to be the theme of this year, right? It just should be. At this point, the theme of the year should just be consistency. We might as well just put it as that. Okay. I think a lot of people, a lot of people struggle with consistency. A lot of people struggle with keeping the same energy. Um, you know, holding frame when it comes time. I really just think that saying one thing for some of these people, and then later on down the road keeping that same consistency across the board, whether you like the person or not, whether you're a fan of a person or not. Some people just get up on the internet and they say things so definitively, so confidently, that they seem to think that the time will never come where they have to uphold their values and morals to the very people that they love, they consider friends. And if you are a quote unquote real nigga, that's what 80 to 95% of being a real nigga is about. I'm sorry. As a man, as a man, we only have our word. Okay? That's one of the first things I was ever taught in life. As a man, you only have your word. And if you've watched Scarface, you only got your word and your balls. Okay? We know this. This should be common amongst all of us. This should be something that goes without saying, that we all understand as men. These are the simple laws of nature. If you are a man and you have certain beliefs, no matter what those beliefs may be, your beliefs aside, your views and morals aside, but if you're a man and and we're going to leave the women out of this, because this isn't even, I don't expect women to necessarily keep their word, and women go off of emotions a lot of the times, and you know they're subject to that a lot on most days. But men, if we say certain things, if we hold a certain moral code, if we quote unquote live by certain things, or we judge others by certain standards, then I think it's pretty fair. I think it's pretty fair. At least I think. I think it's pretty fair that we at least, um, especially if we're going to judge people on our moral standings or standards in what we believe, then we should at least hold ourselves and the people that we love to those same standards, right? You would think it would be that simple. These days, it doesn't seem like it's that simple. Why this is not a simple thing for a lot of men these days, quote unquote, it seems like the internet culture it's making men forget their core values and the core building blocks of being a man. And again, for me, one of those core values, one of those core building blocks on being a man across the board, no matter what your creed, religion, whatever, is if you stand by something, stand by it. If you live by something, live by it. But do it proudly, stay consistent across the board, and keep that same motherfucking energy when you're tested, when your values are tested, when your beliefs are tested, when your morals are tested. Keep that same energy. That's all we ask. It's very simple to be a man, but it's very difficult at the same time. Okay? Because we don't have a lot of rules to being a man, but the rules to being a man are very simple and very strict. And a lot of the times, it's very clear cut. There is no in between. But these days, being a man is just not what it used to be. Everybody has their own interpretation on what being a man is. Women are on these apps, especially this one, every day, telling men what real men look like, regardless of if they were ever raised by a man and ever had a man in the house. But they'll tell you how a real man is supposed to function. See, there's too much dip on the chip. Niggas is lost in the sauce. And these days, we just can't seem to stay consistent when it comes down to keeping it real. Now, I, I want to start here. Ack tweeted out a couple of hours ago. He said, none of your favorite podcasters finna discuss why billionaires emailing about Jay-Z and these other accusations that came out of the U.S. Department of Justice. This U.S. Department of Justice disclosure that they had to create a law for us to get. Yet, they talk about every non-provable gossip situation. This is sad. Let's go to the other one. Let's go to the other one. He said niggas on Twitter did think pieces on a diss song made about another rapper. They claimed the diss song lyrics was facts. To this day, they claim that as facts. They seen FBI, CBP, DOJ documents about another rapper. They like, man, niggas be lying. This is insane. I had some to add. I had a little bit to add to that. I had my own opinions on said topic, of course. Let's get to that. Let's get to that. I said, Look at what you're seeing with Jay and Pusha T and understand why Drake would have never won the battle in their eyes. These people, these are people with an agenda, not facts, passion, or love of hip hop. They get on here talking Drake every day and act as if nothing else matters. Can I continue to cook for a minute? Can I continue to cook? I don't know why it's going all the way back. It's a little crazy. But can I continue to cook for a minute? Okay. We're not done. I also said, nigga sat here saying Act got slapped for the last week and a half. Confidently. No video, credible reports, just one random thought saying he slapped Act. And y'all are still, to this day, are running with it. But the DOJ drops the Epstein files in black and white. And now niggas is Stevie Wonder? It amazes me. Look at all the people clapping it up for Kendrick Lamar, singing the Clips praises. Look at all of these people, because these people didn't exist just a couple of days ago. See, these people always conveniently go missing when information like this drops. And it's funny to me because just as well as you can say, oh, well, this isn't necessarily proven, this is alleged, this is not anything that is verifiable, or instead of these people saying, hold on, wait, let's sit back, let's wait for this information, a lot of them have already taken the stance of this just not being true. A lot of people, which this in particular amazed me, and you're going to see here in a second, but this video in particular amazed me, and you're going to see why here in a second. But I find it amazing. It's truly mind-boggling.
Day I wake up.
Let's get into the Breakfast Club covering this incident very briefly, I might add, and see exactly what they had to say about these files dropping. Because they titled the video this, but they spent very little time actually speaking about the files. So let me just find out where that's at.
Of the federal agents on the ground, about 3,000 of them, that is having an impact on the community, including.
And you're talking, I see it right here. Right about
1,000 images, all tied to Epstein's crimes and the investigation around them. It's the largest batch made public so far under that Epstein's File Transparency Act. And the newly released material includes records from Epstein's time in custody, documents related to his death, and the investigation files connected to his longtime associate Ghislaine Maxwell. She's now serving that 20-year prison sentence for helping traffic and groom underage girls. Now, the Trump administration says this release now marks the end of its review, aside from some limited court-approved exceptions that it said it will work on if the court tells them to. But Democrats, they say this is far from over, that this is not the end of it. Lawmakers, they said they are pushing for transparency, and they argue that there are still more than...
Let's skip to their comments on it.
All right, like they put out the documents, that are heavily redacted. And if the files do come out, and what's going to happen? I see names like Bill Gates floating around, and Elon Musk and Prince Andrew. What's going to happen to those individuals? It seems like all.
It's funny, he's dropping names, but for whatever reason, he leaves two out. Elon Musk, Bill Gates. Of course, of course, of course. We see that. We understand that. But did you just skip past the Pusha T, Jay Z part? What's really going on?
All of those individuals are too big to fail anyway. So like, what's the point?
Yes, Charlotte, that's a very good point. Including, you said Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, a Google co-founder. There were a lot of names in this last batch, and a lot of people have been asking, so what happens next? I mean, if we get the unredacted files, what is going to happen? So investigators say that any new criminal charges would depend on what, if anything, emerges from the remaining material. But who knows if we'll ever get that. Again, the Justice Department says that they're done releasing any information. You've got more than 3 million files this last batch. And so they said that they're finished. But you're right, to your point, what is going to happen, especially with these very rich and powerful men who seem to...
Is Jay-Z not one of those very rich and powerful men? Granted, I hope the stuff about Hove ain't true. Hove is still one of my favorite rappers, being a fellow New Yorker. But at the same time, why would we just dismiss it, not knowing whether the shit is true or not? It's still alleged. So automatically taking the stance of it's not true, this is misinformation, this is just blatant cover-up in front of our faces. And they're not even trying to be subtle about it.
All be in cahoots together to make sure that this information doesn't come out.
But Rokana said something important too. I mean, even if some of these people aren't like implicated in any crimes, they were emailing with, Jeffrey Epstein well after the fact of people knowing that he was a pedophile.
Yeah.
Which is wild to stand on, because I mean, there's a lot of people who still communicate with folks like that.
Exactly. But is that a crime though? You know what I mean? It's maybe morally wrong, but can you charge them with a crime for emailing if you have no proof? You know what I mean? If there's nothing to solidify that they actually, committed an act, a criminal act.
Absolutely.
So we will continue to see what happens with.
Yeah, we're watching a mass cover up, obviously already with the Epstein files, but it's crazy to see that even our outlets are not willing to do their due diligence. And this is why I say shows like The Breakfast Club, Hot 97 is already the Ebro and whatever, the morning show. All of that shit has gone away. And like I've been saying, it's been time for these niggas, these old heads, to pass the baton. Okay? It's just been time, because at the end of the day, y'all are not willing to do and say what's needed for the culture. You represent one side of the culture, but that side is very, very fake, very polished, very performative. We don't really fuck with that. So if we're going to have people be voices of the culture, we got to have people who are not afraid to talk about the uncomfortable topics. We got to have people who are not afraid to say what we're all thinking, or at very least bring the facts and evidence across the board. When it's one person, y'all act like shit is fair game, but when it's another, everyone's hush hush. We've seen this countless time and time again. This is why I've been telling people around me, just the homies, like, it's no point in expecting certain people to keep the same energy that they had with one person, because you fighting a losing battle. These people know what they're doing. At the end of the day, when you are willfully, when you proudly call yourself a man, but you willfully go against your own principles and your own morals for a person that you don't even really know. If we find out that Drake did half of the shit that y'all claim he does, he would be out of here by tomorrow. You never hear me listening to him again. There would be no ifs, ands, buts about it. But you niggas rather go on witch hunts, wild goose chases, than look at black and white official documents just because they talk about the people you love. It's sad that we can't get real men, at least these people who call themselves men, to keep it 100 across the board. And if you are really half of what a lot of you claim to be, you act like you walk in the footsteps of the great Kendrick Lamar, and you live your life just as righteous as him because you guys listen to his music. So we're supposed to believe that you're all just as righteous as Kendrick Lamar. But you niggas have no spines. You have no real moral code. You have no real consistency in your lives. If you just like Kendrick Lamar and you like to listen to his music, and it's not even just Kendrick Lamar, but if you like a certain type of music and you have a taste of music, reasons like this, moments like this, is why a lot of you should just sit this out, stay on your side of Shea Butter Twitter, and keep the condescending attitudes, keep your opinions, keep all the talking down and snobbiness to yourselves. Because at the end of the day, you're just as human as the rest of us. We don't expect you to be consistent, but you can't be moral police when you have so many chinks in your armor. You can't be moral police when you niggas are hypocrites. You stand for nothing. Just say you blow in the direction of the wind. Just say you like listening to Kendrick Lamar, and that's just going to be the way it is. You think he's the greatest of all time. Leave it at that. But a lot of you go out of your way to say, I think Kendrick Lamar is the best, and the rest of you niggas who don't think he's this and don't think he's that or XYZ. And maybe it's just because you niggas need engagement. Maybe it's because just talking about Kendrick Lamar and Kendrick Lamar only without continuously dragging this beef on, maybe it just doesn't pay. Maybe it just doesn't get you niggas the same amount of attention. But at some point, you gotta just stand on your own too. You gotta stand on the back of your own artists. This can't go on forever. I somewhat feel for you niggas because it's hard. As I said last stream, it has to be hard to really have to sit here for 2 years and gaslight an entire fan base only for the people that you have uplifted in that entire time be the exact things that you were trying to project onto someone else. It's a shame. It really is. It has to be a tough pill to swallow. But swallow it nonetheless, you have to. You have to. Because this is the house you established. These are the rules you said you lived by. Y'all asked us, you told us. How could you listen to a person who likes children? Well, I ask you guys this. If Drake was listed in the Epstein files, would the Shade Room, the Breakfast Club, would all these places be given the same amount of grace? With that being said, this is why I think Nicki Minaj joined forces with Donald Trump, the president. She realized she's talking too spicy. She's going up against Rock Nation. A person like her versus Rock Nation isn't enough. You have to take it beyond hip hop. You have to gather power beyond hip hop. And that's exactly what she did. She secured connections and power beyond hip hop. So now when it comes down for Rock Nation to make their move, they can't. At least for the next 3 years. She's moving with a get out of jail free card. Everybody's seeing this as she's trying to get this and she's trying to get that. No. This was because she understands who she's going up against. And when you're going up against Rock Nation, this is what you see. A Nicki Minaj doesn't have the power to silence the Breakfast Club. Drake doesn't have the power to silence a Hot 97 or a Complex News or the Shade Room. But Rock Nation does. Rock Nation puts money in a lot of these niggas' pockets. And a lot of these niggas would never dare utter anything against Rock Nation or its proprietor. They would never do it. So we're forced to sit here, us people who have been gaslit, whether you're a Drake fan or not. You just have to call it how you see it. You really have to sit down and ask yourself, if this was Drake's name in these files, just take Pusha T's name out, take Jay-Z's name out, and put Drake. Would he be getting the same amount of grace from these outlets and bloggers, from these YouTubers? Or would they be using this as ammo, saying, see, we told you. Oh, Not Like Us is aging like fine wine. Would they not be saying this? I really want to understand what we're missing, that we can't get these people to simply keep the same energy. Why can't we? At very least, I would expect you to say, hey, we see what's going on. I see what's going on. And I'm not going to lean either side until more information comes out. But this is very devastating news. I hope this isn't true, etc., etc. However you want to flip it. But instead of people saying that and, trying to go about it in a more reasonable way, At very least, that's what they could say in the stance that they could have. But no, they rather turn Stevie Wonder. They don't see this shit. They don't believe it. Oh, none of this is true. Which brings us to the next video. Let's get to this other one.
And so we are in a state of emergency.
Charlemagne's donkey of the day for today.
Okay, white supremacist violence is and always has been the #1 threat to our society.
But I'm also very proud that my wife is white.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
All right, Charlemagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
Well, donkey of the day for Monday, February 2nd. Second day of Black History Month. Goes to all the unserious journalists, all the unserious people, period, who just ran with the Pusha T, Eminem, and Jay-Z are in the Epstein file story. Yes, we are going to talk about that this morning because I don't understand. And I would love to get some understanding, okay? If you haven't heard, this weekend, the DOJ published millions of pages, videos, and images from its Epstein investigation under the Epstein Files Transparency Act. I believe they said it was roughly 3.5 million records. By the way, whenever something about the Epstein files comes out, it never fails that President Donald Trump does something ridiculous, okay? This past Friday, independent journalist Don Lemon and Georgia Fort were arrested by federal agents in Minnesota. They were accused of conspiracy and violating the First Amendment rights of worshipers during an anti-ICE protest at a city's church in St. Paul. Both of them were released on bond following their initial court appearance. And President Trump said former President Barack Obama should be arrested. Okay, there is a direct correlation between Epstein files being released and President Donald Trump doing or saying something crazy to deflect. Okay, it just is. Now, there are all types of things in these files. First of all, massive privacy failure because 43 survivors of Epstein's abuse were published without redaction. You got addresses, driver license photos. So now these people are getting harassed online. It's nasty. Okay, then there was evidence suggesting a wider trafficking network. Okay, they got newly disclosed material that suggests Epstein may have trafficked girls to other wealthy, powerful men, contradicting earlier DOJ claims that there was insufficient evidence to pursue others. You also saw in the files a lot of communication with high-profile individuals, a lot of emails and communications back and forth between Epstein and many wealthy, powerful people. Okay, but I have to say, the presence of names does not necessarily imply wrongdoing. All right, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, bunch of politicians from the UK. Now, I know people are wondering what is going to come of all this, and the answer is probably nothing, legally anyway. I mean, the DOJ Deputy AG Todd Blanche said the files do not currently provide enough credible prosecutable evidence to bring new charges against other figures. I would say, well, if you take out all the credible prosecutable evidence before you release the files, of course they don't have enough credible prosecutable evidence, okay? But I want to get to the Pusha T, Jay-Z, Eminem of it all, because that's what went crazy on my algorithm. And I have questions. I have one question. There's one question for the room. What do niggas hate more? Reading or accountability? What y'all think?
Accountability.
Reading.
I think reading too. Okay. I think reading as well. Okay. I don't understand why y'all are so quick to want to tear our own down without doing just a little bit of research. Okay. By the way, I saw way more headlines about Pusha T and Jay-Z than I did Eminem, but that's not surprising because we love tearing our own down. Even though when you're talking hip hop, Eminem is one of us. Okay. But I don't even like the headlines I saw of him. All right. Connecting Pusha T, Jay-Z, and Eminem to something like the Epstein files. Come on, man. Okay, listen, for everyone who may not know, let me explain to you. Mentions of these artists didn't come from Epstein's personal records. They didn't come from reports supported by law enforcement. Okay, these stories came from a crisis intake report, a public hotline submission, a tip that some random person called in from 2019. They aren't backed by court findings, indictments, confirmed evidence. And if you actually read the stories, they just simply don't make any sense. Okay, what the hell would Jay-Z be doing with Harvey Weinstein and Attorney General William Barr in 1996? That was the year his first album came out.
Why do y'all keep saying this? Why do y'all keep saying this as if, oh, what would they be doing with the, what are y'all saying that for? You see, the co-opt is making you believe that shit like this is impossible. when I'm here to tell you the shit that these niggas and I've been around, just think of some of the craziest shit that we see. Y'all have watched some of these case files and true crime stories of some of the craziest shit. Now, I'm not telling you to let your imagination run loose and go wild. But I'm saying when it comes down to the industry and it comes down to these people at the top, oh, don't let your imagination be so skewed and so small that you think that these people won't do some of the most underhanded, unbelievable shit you've ever seen in your fucking life. Don't let these people convince you that none of these people are capable of such evils and atrocities. Don't let these people convince you that. And that's not an indictment. That's not to say that anybody did anything or it's to go one way or another. But why are we so quick to dismiss this? Oh, this doesn't make any sense. This doesn't do that. Regardless of if it makes sense to you or not, there should be an investigation and a verification of all of these things that are being put out. It's not just about Pusha T and Jay-Z, but even deeper into that, as I said, if this were other people, other artists that weren't as beloved, think of those three names: Eminem, hip hop darling; Pusha T, Jay-Z, hip hop darlings. They're in that phase and in that level of, hip hop that they can walk out on the street just like Donald Trump said, shoot a man in broad daylight and walk right back into their house like nothing happened, just chill. People wouldn't judge him. Well, shit, Donald Trump probably still could do that. You see what's going on out here. He's probably still could do that. But even still, you get me, like it's different. You really got to understand, we can't just be quick to dismiss shit because we weren't quick to dismiss and shut down all of the people. And at the end of the day, if you truly feel, and then this is why I say staying consistent. This is just going to be a theme throughout the year that you're gonna see from us, and you're gonna see on this show. Because if you truly feel like this, then why not hold the creators, the same creators? See, niggas be quick to come out and be like, oh, this is dumb. I don't understand why you niggas are doing this, and we're so quick to do this and do that. But when the shoe is on the other foot, why are we not quick to condemn all of these artists or bloggers and pages who just run with fake news and fake information like it's going out of style? I'm really trying to understand. But again, we can't expect these people to keep it consistent. Let's continue.
Do you really think Pusha T in 2007 was hanging around Harvey Weinstein and was one of the victim's handlers? In the Eminem story, the woman describes how she weighs 300 pounds. So a video of her would be easy to find. This is her words, not mine. She says this in the report. She weighs 300 pounds, so a video of her would be easy to find. And in the Eminem story, she said when she woke up, she saw someone recording with a phone, and she thinks it was Diddy. Okay, all right. Once again, these are public hotline submissions. not nothing within the file. These are public hotline submissions. The tips itself don't imply these individuals were investigated, okay? Nor does it in any way imply guilt for any of these accusations. The DOJ literally said some of the accusations posed could be fake or falsely submitted. By the way, anyone who actually took the time to read any of these stories would know that. Now, I don't have a problem with people reporting this. I just don't understand how y'all don't report this with proper context. All you outlets know that people don't read past headlines. So if you put Pusha T, Jay-Z, Eminem in the Epstein files, everybody is going to run with it. And I just be having to sit back and think,
There's countless videos, even here, we read through the entire shit. It was pretty clear what we were reading and what was going on. And it's, like I said, it's more so just niggas keeping that same energy. We read it, we seen it. A lot of people read through it. A lot of people post the entire it's only 2 pages, Charlamagne. There's only 2 pages where these niggas was mentioned. Okay? Niggas went straight to it, got to it. We seen what it was. Half of both pages was blanked out anyway. Wasn't that much to read. I don't get the angle you niggas is playing or trying to take or whatever.
Realize how much we are getting played, okay? Whenever the powers that be want to deflect from what they got going on, they will always throw meat to the blacks.
Yeah, I don't deny that. I wholeheartedly don't deny that. But at the same time, as I said even before we started reading the documents the other day, it's something fishy going on as far as the documents go, because they should have been out. And I don't think that any real damning information is going to be put out. But at the same time, with that being said, the fact that these people were being mentioned and in the manner that they were mentioned, well, then we gotta, take that into account. Because I personally feel like there's so much that we don't see. So until we can verify what's really in these files, maybe we'll never know. Because at this point, I highly doubt we'll ever really know. So until we can really verify what's in these files, there won't be anything to come out of it. But we do know, out of most people that was mentioned, the manner that these 2 people were mentioned was drastically different than a lot others. So.
Okay. Because they know nobody controls the algorithm like black people. All right. Why do you think they like utilizing black influencers, black rappers, black artists? Because nobody controls the algorithm like we do. Nobody gets people going like us. Oh, Epstein files coming out. Okay. Put out some of the stuff from the DOJ tip line. There's some big names in there, and it will be good this weekend because Pusha T is nominated for all types of awards at the Grammys this year. And people on social media, by people, I mean Drake fan pages, will have a field day with this, and they will talk about this so much that it will keep us out of the algorithm. Do we not understand how black culture is being used to protect the agendas of the elite? Okay, Epstein files come out Friday. Don Lemon in Georgia Fort. Black journalists get arrested. President Obama gets threatened with jail time. And just for a little razzle-dazzle, Jay-Z, Pusha T, Eminem, and the Epstein files, all to get your algorithm focused off the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and some of the most powerful people in this world. And sadly, it worked. But listen, when you're black and successful, it comes with the territory. And as my therapist tells me often, you can't have your success without the problems that come with it. And sadly, unserious journalism is one of those problems. Please give all these unserious journalists who just ran with the Pusha T, Eminem.
That's sad. It's really sad, It's really sad. Because again, just because people are afraid or are not afraid to really talk about what's being said, what's going on, plenty of people made clear because I seen it even in the comments. Um, it's not like anybody just ran with it. Their names were in the Epstein files. That's clearly what it was. What else do you want niggas to say? You niggas make thumbnails that aim to draw people in the very same way. Just look, Charlemagne gives unserious journalist donkey of the day. Trump goes off on Trevor Noah after jokes during the Grammy. Like, what do we mean? This is the YouTube game. This is what niggas do. They make thumbnails. They make catchy thumbnails. And they get you to click on their shit. Granted, they need to step their thumbnail game up. But still. So, I mean, it's unfortunate that a lot of people, even like the Shade Room, they post this shit and they delete it. You got people like the Shade Room, the Breakfast Club, who want to make you feel guilty about, asking questions and being like, okay, what the fuck is this about? What's really going on? Let's look into this. How true is this? But then you got people who just want to automatically deny it. So
People, we ain't got no time for people to be bullshitting us. It's 2026. We did not wake up to play. Today we going through these headlines. These ridiculous headlines. Yes, I said it. I know a lot of people may not agree with me. Y'all usually don't. But let's just keep it 1,000. It seems at a very convenient time that these things come out. Epstein files, Weinstein, sexual abuse, battery, all types of stuff. If you got time to be believing things without reading them through, then you deserve everything that the person that lies should get as well. But we talking about this headline. Victim of Epstein claims she woke up in a room with Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein after being abducted. Claims Pusha T was her handler. We gonna go through it. We gonna read through it. We gonna get through it.
And the crazy thing is, when you put in the headline what actually happened and give more context, it sounds worse. It sounds worse. Wasn't this what Charlemagne was just complaining about? Oh, if you just put Jay-Z and Pusha T in the headlines, how people are gonna. Bro, you want us to give a little bit more context, nigga? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That didn't sound any better. Okay? That didn't sound any better, my boy. So y'all can play this angle all y'all want, but that didn't sound good.
So back in July of 2019, July 10th to be exact, somebody called the FBI National Threat Operations Center. And she identified herself as a sexual abuse victim by Jeffrey Epstein and others. Now, when you see something like that, how serious do you take it? I mean, we've seen the documentaries. Weinstein is currently locked up. Is he still on Rikers? He still on the island? They probably got him doing a medication dance, all types of crazy shit. Epstein was a plate that became a pack. He's no longer here with us. But as we seen, the Ghislaine Maxwell's and all of these different people that was in these documentaries, people have been waiting for documents of these documents. And we seen the private jet log, and the private jet log had a lot of your favorite entertainers on there. And you say, well, what are they doing flying on that jet? And people have had their explanations, but let's keep it 1,000. Don't nobody want to hear that. People just want to believe. I ain't gonna lie. You've been doubting it. You've been doubting it for a minute, but I've been trying to put y'all on. Freecash.com is fully legit. People want to satisfy their hunger for speculation. That tinfoil hat bullshit, that barbershop bullshit. You know what I mean? That break room in the middle of the night bullshit. You know them people that you work with or the people that you be around when you go get a cut. They be talking all this like they know what actually happened and that this really, really went down. Let's go through it though. Let's just start at the point of in approximately 1994. Now we're talking about Jay-Z, Pusha T specifically, because there's other allegations on other people, but Jay-Z and Pusha T back in 1994. I bet it's all blanked out, revealed itself to be blanked out as a part of a victim of sex abuse by Epstein, described the abuse occurred during parties, blanked out, further identified, blanked out, as a friend of, blanked out, and in approximately 1996. Now, let's get in the time machine. Let's load up the flux capacitor. Let's go back to 1996. Great year for hip hop, bad year for hip hop. Yeah, we lost Tupac. Yeah, It Was Written came out. Yeah, Reasonable Doubt came out. You know what I mean? 40 year anniversary. Listen, it's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. 30-year anniversaries and all of that. Of great times. Biggie was still here. You know what I mean? Only You by 112 and Mace came out that year. It was a great time, man, to be alive. But this person recounts that in approximately 1996, blanked out, resided with blanked out in and blanked out, a known man abducted blanked out from her home, whence she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, Jay-Z, while Weinstein had inserted his fingers into blanked out, believed she was Epstein's mansion in Florida. You know how people always be debating or be saying like, man, Jay-Z wasn't even that big, wasn't even big. He was never this. Like people always go back and say, oh, he wasn't even this, he wasn't this for his era and all of that. Let's go specifically back to 96. Jay-Z was not the fifth best rapper that year. Let's keep it 1,000, man. It was a lot of people ahead of Jay-Z in 96. But in 2019, this.
Now we downplaying Jay-Z. Oh, man. Jay-Z wasn't even the fifth best rapper in the city. What are we talking about? He was barely a celebrity. Like, what are we talking, nigga? Look, you know, Jay-Z always been that nigga. Jay-Z always been that nigga. Okay? He know that he can downplay it all he want. Jay-Z always been that nigga. But hey, you feel me? If you niggas want to play stupid, if you niggas like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. You know, y'all niggas gonna do what y'all do. But if you like it, I love it. I don't necessarily understand why niggas move like that and in such disbelief, and we gotta downplay. See, and then you downplaying who Hov is, it just makes niggas feel like, and this is just as a whole fan, but it makes niggas feel like you have some sort of agenda, you know, low key. It's kind of weird. It's very weird. I don't know why niggas be trying to run this kind of game and be like, oh nah, this shit is impossible. Like, no way. Like, it's like, no, this shit ain't really impossible. This is not really impossible. But yeah, everybody making their videos, and you know, it is what it is. Niggas feel like they're either well, nah, it's just a lot of niggas over there making these dunk videos basically trying to call niggas stupid for even questioning the validity of these quote unquote Epstein files. Niggas was begging for the Epstein files to drop. Now the Epstein files just drop. Certain people's names is in the files. Niggas don't want to talk about it. It's crazy to me. At very least, we should be talking and speculating about it just a tad, little bit. No, no, not at all. We're just gonna dismiss it. We're not even gonna say, "Hey, we don't know," either way, which way. But it's like, okay, um, if that's how you niggas roll, that's hey, like I said, if you like it, I love it. Um, Perfectly fine. That's up to you. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, Besides our hip hop news, because yeah, off of this, because I think I said my piece, and I think we are yet to get to anything beyond hip hop. We haven't talked any movies. We haven't talked any sports. We touched on a tad bit of politics, but come on, where are we at? Who's watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms, man? Who's watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms? Come on. Are they cooking with that one? And again, if y'all like if y'all like the entertainment talk, the movie talk, all that good shit, please hop into that Doja Room community where we do movie reviews, we do album reviews, and we're gonna continue giving more content like that. But yeah, come on, who watching Night of the Seven Kingdoms? You feel me? Who watching all of that good shit? Because we need somebody, we need some people in tune. You feel me? I think the episode just came out last night. Episode 3. No spoilers. I ain't gonna spoil anything, but you know what I'm saying? Shit's getting a little intense, is it not? I'm fucking with it though. It's a whole different flavor of Game of Thrones, a different side of Game of Thrones. There's still a lot of Game of Thrones is there. The lore is there, but it definitely has a completely different tone. A completely different tone. Okay? And I'm fucking with it. It's more like a comedy type shit. And I don't mind a nice little comedy. It's more like some you feel me? Some shit that doesn't take itself as serious. Um, you know what I mean? But if you like Game of Thrones, if you watching House of the Dragons, I just rewatched House of the Dragons too. I'm not gonna lie, rewatched House of the Dragons with the homie. All both seasons. I know niggas don't like season 2 of House of the Dragons, but that shit is fire. I don't care what niggas is talking about. Okay, I'm sorry. House of the Dragons is just so fire to me. You feel me? I know George R. R. Martin is a little tight about season 2 in the directions of things, apparently. But hey, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely here for it. I mean, I get home. I get he has a vision and homie has a vision, but I don't necessarily feel like I've been led astray yet. I like how ruthless the story is. I don't know how drastic some of the changes may be, but I'm pretty in tune on what's happening. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm locked in on the lore, everything right now. Okay, I'm locked in. But Game of Thrones, yeah, I think Game of Thrones is my favorite show. I've already said that, but so it makes everything else just yeah that much easier to get into when it comes down to that. But yeah, I, when it comes down to Game of Thrones, we definitely give it up over here. Not any, not too many crazy movies coming out, is there? or have came out? I don't think so. Shadow's Edge, this nigga Jackie Chan. That's some 2025 shit. The Wrecking Crew. Greenland 2 Migration. Yeah, they're not really shaking it up in the box office right now. I don't know if there's too much to watch in the theaters, but there are some albums that came out. We got the DaBaby album, okay. We got the Don Toliver album, which we're listening to. We're gonna get some reviews out on, and kind of update ourselves on the music that we've missed. But you know, I think that we're getting more music wise, but we ain't getting too much movies wise. But as far as shows go, I believe we're gonna get the last episode of Fallout tonight too. And Fallout is lit. Okay, Fallout has been lit. Fallout season 2 has been even more lit. They're in New Vegas, obviously, if you've been watching the show, and if you're a player of the games, even more so. Like, come on, yeah, that's super lit. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate a good adaptation that is true to the source material, like Fallout is. And I think because Todd Howard and Bethesda had their hands all over the show, that it's in good hands for now. But Bethesda's been giving me, you know, but that's a whole another thing. They made another Anaconda. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. But yeah, apparently they made another Anaconda. Y'all remember Anaconda with Ice Cube? Well, yeah, it was Ice Cube. So yeah, that shit was lit. But yeah, moving on. But that's besides the point. But yeah, music wise, we're gonna get into what's going on there. TV wise, we're gonna break down those shows. Um, Once Fallout wraps up, maybe we'll even break down and talk a little bit about it tomorrow. And then Duncan and Egg, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. That show is going to be wrapping up pretty soon. I believe it's only 8 episodes. It's a pretty short book for the first book, so it's not too much that they got to put in there. But it's a pretty interesting show as well. So yeah, we'll be here to break down, talk about some of those shows, perhaps review them. And yeah, I think it'll be a nice little side thing because we give up everything entertainment here, okay? And that's what I want to continue to serve up here. So yeah, I think I've said what I need to say when it comes down to what we've been seeing in the media, and as far as these Kendrick Lamar fans and these people who are just not consistent goes. But we're gonna see more things develop in the news. I think when it comes down to these Epstein files and shit like that, there's nothing else to see here. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much said what I said, and that's pretty much my take on it. When it comes down to the Kenny's award shows, the Kendrick Lamar award show, we all know what that is about as well. We knew what that was going to be, and at the end of the day, are we surprised? Not at all. Okay, we knew Kendrick Lamar was going to come in, snatch up everything. He's the most winning hip hop artist of all time. Congratulations. It's not like we hate Kendrick Lamar, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, we know the Grammys, the Kennys don't represent real reality, the actual field, and what's really going on here in hip hop. So, what are we here to expect? If you niggas are still here watching the Grammys and waiting and expecting for something to surprise you, I'm here to tell you to get your Kalshi accounts, load up next year, because if Kendrick Lamar drops another album, we going up again. Okay, that's all I got for you guys here today in the Doja Room. Go ahead and hit this video with a like. If you're on X, hit it with a repost and also a like as well. And if you're on YouTube, hit this video with a hype and a like. And if you are not a subscriber yet of the Doja Room Firstborn Media, then go ahead and subscribe to us. Follow me on all platforms at Dope Boy Diesel, of course. I'm always here. I'm always in the field, and you can catch me also on X. All right, by the same. And that's where you can really just stay up in tuned with that's the home base. Okay, I'm on X all day. If I'm not tweeting, I'm watching, and you can always get at me there. So go ahead and get at us on X. Follow me on all platforms. Follow the Doja Room community. Get in there. Request entry, and you shall be let in. Yeah, we're going to be here for more entertainment, more updates, and there's plenty going on, plenty to talk about. But that's all I got for you guys today. Yeah, I appreciate you niggas. To all my stoners, hippies, and hip hop enthusiasts, this has been the Doja Room, and I'm out. All right, let's get it.
Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth.